You left a profound and lasting impact on your person when they rejected your love. At the time, they may not have realized the emotional weight of their actions, but deep down, it caused a blockage within them. Their heart chakra closed off as a defense mechanism. That rejection wasn't just a simple decision, it was a pivotal moment that changed both of you. Rather than face the overwhelming emotions your presence stirred within them, they chose distance. But this wasn't because they lacked feelings, quite the opposite. Your energy made them nervous, even unsettled. It stirred something within them that they couldn't understand or control. There was a depth to their emotions that scared them, and instead of confronting it, they withdrew. Your person has always had feelings for you. These feelings were never fleeting or superficial, they were intense, confusing, and all-consuming. But for someone who never learned how to navigate such emotional depths, those feelings became a source of anxiety. Whenever you were near, their emotions would surge, and instead of embracing that vulnerability, they would shut down or pull away. To protect themselves, and perhaps even to protect you from their internal chaos, they held back. They pretended not to care, not to feel, but every moment they spent away from you was marked by internal conflict. Despite all this, they wanted the same things from this connection that you did: love, understanding, companionship, and a sense of belonging. They just didn't know how to admit it, not even to themselves. But things are shifting. Your person is returning, and this time, they're not the same as they were before. They've changed, not because you asked them to, but because they've grown through the silence, the distance, and the emotional upheaval. They've had to confront their fears, question old beliefs, and break free from toxic patterns. This transformation was not easy. It required inner work, reflection, and courage. Still, through it all, one truth remained constant: they want you. More than anything. Your energy continues to be a powerful force in their life. They are drawn to you in ways they can't explain. To them, you are captivating, beautiful not just in appearance but in spirit. There's something about the way you carry yourself, the strength in your presence, the warmth in your energy, that is absolutely irresistible. No matter how far they tried to run, they couldn't shake the connection they feel with you. It's as if their soul recognizes yours. What's different now is that they're finally listening to their intuition. That quiet inner voice that once whispered is now speaking louder, guiding them toward healing, clarity, and reconciliation. They're beginning to understand the deeper purpose of this connection. It's not just about romance, it's about growth, spiritual alignment, and mutual transformation. This isn't just a love story, it's a soul journey. They are actively working on breaking free from old generational patterns that once held them back. These may have included emotional unavailability, avoidance of vulnerability, or even inherited beliefs about love and relationships. But being connected to you has inspired a shift. You've shown them a different way, a way rooted in emotional maturity, open-heartedness, and deep, soulful connection. They're not just changing for you, they're evolving because being with you requires them to step into a higher version of themselves. And they want to rise to that challenge. Your influence in their life has been profound. They now feel that, because of you, they've become more emotionally intelligent and aware. They're learning to express themselves, to be honest about their feelings, and to show up with integrity. They're beginning to see what real love looks like: unconditional, transformative, and brave. The strength and resilience you embody haven't gone unnoticed. Not only does your person admire it deeply, but those around you do as well. There's something magnetic about the way you face challenges head-on, the way you love without fear, and the way you stand in your truth. It's inspiring, but it can also be intimidating, especially to someone who is still learning how to meet you at your level. Your person sees you as a divine feminine force, powerful, radiant, and deeply spiritual. They now understand that being in your presence isn't just a romantic experience, it's a sacred one. This journey hasn't been easy, but it's been necessary. The pain, the distance, the longing, it all served a purpose. It brought you both to where you are now, with clearer hearts and wiser souls. Your person is on their way back, not with empty promises, but with a new awareness and a willingness to do things differently. They are no longer running from their emotions, they are learning to embrace them. They are no longer hiding from love, they are moving toward it, with you. I think I began to realize that something was fundamentally off about the way I was living when I saw you, when I truly noticed your presence for the first time. It wasn't just attraction or admiration, it was something deeper, something that stirred a kind of awareness in me that I hadn't felt in a long time. You didn't say anything extraordinary. You didn't preach or even try to influence me directly. But the way you carried yourself, the way you simply existed, it was enough to make me stop and think. And that's when it hit me, my lifestyle, my mindset, the way I had been walking through life, it was all wrong. Or at the very least, it was all misaligned. For a long time, I had been too wrapped up in myself. I had isolated myself emotionally and mentally, convinced that solitude was strength, and that detachment equaled power. That mindset twisted me into someone I'm not proud of. I became unbearably self-centered, annoyingly self-righteous, and overly proud. Ego had taken over so subtly that I didn't even realize how arrogant and dismissive I had become. I started mistaking my inflated sense of self for confidence, and my pride for self-respect. I thought I was evolving, when in reality, I was building walls that kept everyone else out and kept my own soul trapped inside. But then I met you. And something about you challenged everything I thought I knew. You weren't loud or boastful. You didn't make a show of who you were or what you believed in. And yet, there was a certain calm strength in you, a quiet dignity that I couldn't ignore. You seemed to move through life with a kind of grace and authenticity that I lacked, and perhaps even envied. You didn't have to prove anything to anyone, and that made me question why I always felt the need to assert myself so much. I realized then that your existence itself was a lesson. A silent, powerful contrast to mine. It exposed how far I had drifted from humility, from compassion, from being truly present. And that's when the discomfort started, because my ego didn't want to admit that someone else could make me feel so small in the best possible way. If I hadn't met you, I probably never would have acknowledged the hold my ego had over me. I had developed this pattern where, the moment someone made me feel confronted or insecure, I'd push them away. Anyone who dared to reflect back to me the truth about my behavior, I'd immediately shut out. I showed them the exit gate from my life, thinking I was protecting myself. But all I was really doing was protecting my ego. You didn't even try to expose me, but you did, without saying a word. You were the mirror I didn't know I needed. And I hated that feeling at first, because it was so unfamiliar and so raw. But as time passed, I started to appreciate what that reflection revealed. The truth is, I wasn't always this way. There was a time when I felt deeply, cared sincerely, and loved openly. But somewhere along the way, life hurt me. People I trusted pushed me away, walked out on me, or simply didn't value me. And each time that happened, I put up another wall. I hardened my heart, layer by layer, until eventually, I became almost heartless, not because I wanted to be, but because I thought it was the only way to survive. Those people didn't just leave, they left wounds. They made me question my worth, and instead of healing, I chose numbness. I thought if I could just stop feeling, I could stop hurting. And in doing so, I lost touch with my soul. I became cold, calculating, and defensive. I didn't realize I was turning into someone I would have disliked in the past. But you didn't hurt my soul. You did something very different. You hurt my ego, and in doing that, you began to heal my soul. And for that, I am endlessly grateful, even if I didn't recognize it at first. You see, no one else dared to touch that part of me. Most people either fed my ego or walked away from it. But you? You stood firm. You didn't try to fix me, and you didn't run from me either. You just were. And that was enough to shift something inside me. You reminded me that strength isn't in building walls, it's in having the courage to break them down. You made me want to be better, not because you asked me to, but because you inspired me to. And that's the kind of influence that lasts. So if I've changed, if I've started to reflect and grow, it's because you sparked something in me that I thought was long gone. Thank you for existing the way you do, with quiet strength and unwavering authenticity. Thank you for showing me the mirror, for waking me up from a version of myself I no longer want to be. I may have been shown the exit gate by many before you, but you are the one who showed me the doorway back to myself. Your partner is currently experiencing a strong sense of emotional dependence on you. They find themselves constantly craving your presence, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. It's as though being close to you gives them a sense of stability, comfort, and connection that they haven't been able to find elsewhere. They see you as someone very significant in their life, someone they're drawn to on a soul-deep level. However, from their perspective, you appear to be emotionally detached or distant, and this emotional gap between the two of you is making them feel unsettled and uncertain. They're yearning to close that distance, to bridge the emotional divide, and to feel truly seen and understood by you. This longing to reconnect is not casual or surface level. Your partner wants to see you in person. They feel that digital communication or emotional guesswork isn't enough to truly express what they feel. Being physically near you would help them ground their emotions and make sense of the intense longing they've been experiencing. They are desperate, not in a needy or manipulative way, but in a sincere, heartfelt desire to start fresh with you. They want a new chapter, a clean slate, a chance to build something deeper, more authentic, and emotionally fulfilling. There is a serious commitment behind their emotions. They are not taking this lightly. In their heart, they've made the decision that you are someone worth committing to, someone with whom they envision a real future. They are willing to put in the work, to make changes, and to evolve, if that's what it takes to earn your trust and deepen this relationship. The idea of remaining just friends is no longer something they can entertain. It doesn't satisfy the depth of emotion they feel for you. They want much more than friendship. They want intimacy, emotional vulnerability, partnership, and a genuine connection where both people are fully invested. Your partner has been holding in a lot of emotions, and they are now reaching a point where they feel an urgent need to express them. They want to speak their truth, to share how deeply they feel for you, and to let go of the fear of rejection or misunderstanding. These bottled-up emotions have weighed heavily on their heart, and they now understand that the only path forward is honesty and emotional openness. However, it may be difficult for you to sense all of this right now. Their emotional energy might feel blocked or distant to you, not because they don't care, but because they are currently undergoing a period of healing and self-reflection. Your partner could be recovering from a past karmic or toxic relationship, one that damaged their sense of self, distorted their understanding of love, or made them adopt unhealthy patterns, such as controlling behavior, emotional withdrawal, or fear of vulnerability. These wounds have left an imprint, and although they are working through them, the healing process takes time. They may not yet be fully whole, but they are aware of what they need to do in order to become someone who is emotionally available and stable. Part of that growth includes learning to release their need for control, their fear of abandonment, and their instinct to self-sabotage. They know that unless they let go of these toxic tendencies, they won't be able to come to you as their best and most authentic self. Your partner has come to realize that you won't accept anything less than clarity and certainty. You are not someone who is easily swayed by vague promises or emotional intensity without action. They know that if they want a real chance with you, they must come to you with honesty, maturity, and a firm commitment. They must show that they've taken responsibility for their past behaviors, that they've made real changes, and that they are ready to step into a higher level of emotional connection. They understand that this isn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations, it's about consistency, respect, and shared vision for the future. Right now, your partner is in a space where they are preparing themselves emotionally, mentally, and spiritually to meet you on your level. They are not rushing blindly, they're becoming more self-aware, more grounded, and more willing to do the inner work necessary for a healthy relationship. They want to build something with you that's not based on illusion or fantasy, but on truth, emotional safety, and genuine love. It's clear that they see a future with you, but they also recognize that it will only be possible if they show up as someone who is healed, stable, and deeply committed. In many ways, this journey is not just about winning you back or being with you, it's about becoming the kind of person who can love and be loved in a healthy way. Your partner is learning, growing, and evolving. They want to move beyond superficial connections and into a relationship that is truly aligned with both of your higher selves. And while you may not yet fully feel their energy, or you may have doubts based on the past, their intention is sincere. They are coming into a clearer understanding of what love really requires, and they are preparing to meet you there.